Welcome back to the Pejpod. My name's Pauline. I'm joined with Eugene and John. No, we don't have last names. Inside joke. Sorry. Okay, so we're very excited for you to be back. If you're new, welcome. Hope that you have a chance to listen to our old episodes. They were super fun. Do you guys have a favorite episode so far?
Yeah.
The one on me.
Oh my god.
Wow. Wow.
That was a joke.
Okay.
That was a joke.
Well, I like the $3,000 one.
I knew you were going to say that.
That's fine. That's my favorite.
I think you two were the most excited doing that episode.
Of course.
Fun. Getting to
We're always
spend money.
dreaming, Yeah.
Mm.
We're
We got
always
to
dreaming.
dream a little, you know.
Mhm.
I did actually like the last one, the inspiration one.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Okay.
So that's number 2. Your favorite's the one about you.
that was a joke. That was a joke. People don't take it seriously now.
Yeah, I wonder what our listeners' favorite has been so far. So if you're listening or you've been listening along, let us know what your favorite's been, what more you want to hear from us. Yeah, so this week, this is an exciting one. It's kind of different from all the ones that we've done so far. So we're going to talk about hopefully lots of different topics, and we're going to just kind of go rapid fire, I hope. It's basically hot takes, so kind of more controversial topics. We're just going to discuss, see our opinions, and see how it goes. You guys ready?
Sure.
Ready?
Right, so the first thing I send it to you guys. So it was an article that I saw on my Facebook feed from somebody who posted it. And I thought it was a great timing, first of all, because it happened today. It was great timing for our recording of this podcast. So basically, it's an article from our own, actually, my city. It's called CTV News, Vancouver. And they posted an article, and actually they had a little mini video too. So considering they have a video of an actual anchor talking about the topic, it's pretty a big deal, I think. So I was actually surprised that there was actual video on it. So the article title is, BC couple says they were scammed by a professional wedding photographer who used stock images as their portfolio. So the couple was scammed into thinking that this was a real wedding photographer. And I don't exactly know how much they lost, I guess, but it did say they paid a deposit of $1,500. And the images that they were given were all blurry and either really exposed or underexposed, and clearly just not what they were expecting. So what do you guys think about it when I first sent it to you?
I was just shocked.
Yeah.
Pretty sad someone would actually do that, but it isn't the first time that I heard about something like that. You know, I've heard about some of the second photographers tried to do that, because even the main photographers wouldn't probably, if they cater the sort of like the Instagram feed and everything very carefully, then even the photographer would know. And then you just hire and then they don't have to edit and give the SD cut, and you find out that they were really not really doing the job.
Mm.
So it's sad that's still going on.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That's the thing. I think it's really easy to do nowadays. Everybody can just create their own website very cheaply. And then the volume of photographers we have nowadays, it's a lot. So you can pretty much just take a photo from anyone, and it will take months for a photographer to find out that somebody's using somebody else's photo before somebody gets caught. So I think it's gonna happen a lot more. So I guess the next question is, how do we help clients to prevent from getting scammed like this?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
So many questions. Like, where do they find this person, first of all? Is
Right?
it through Craigslist, or, did they rank highly on Google? I'm not sure. Maybe.
Right.
But just
I don't know. That's pretty
just
hard to
seeing
do,
those
right?
photos, the stock photos, clearly they don't really have,
Yeah.
similarities between them. So
Yeah.
I don't think it would be,
And And I wonder if you can fake Google reviews that easily. Is it? I don't know how if you can do bots to write reviews for your Google page, write a bunch of 5 stars, put a bunch of photos in there. I don't know how easy. I don't know if Google has a safety on this, but I thought it's based on longevity and authority.
Honestly, if someone's putting that much effort into it, I mean,
Yeah.
they might as well just be a wedding photographer.
But I mean, that's the thing. Like we were talking about this the other day. The barrier to entry is very high, right? Because the competition is very steep. Everybody's able to take good photos because of better cameras. But yeah, I don't know.
The only way that something that I've been saying to my clients potential clients for the past 2-3 years is that the sort of like all the photographers have like a portfolio page on our websites, right? And honestly, portfolio page doesn't really mean anything because we, as a photographer, we all know we can take at least one good photos in a whole wedding. And if you just combine, just good photos and put it on the portfolio, that doesn't really sort of like the skill level that you have. The only way I think the clients can really get a good sense of how good the photographer is by putting the entire gallery up. From the getting ready, ceremony, reception, all different types of lights, all different angles, how you do tell the story. And that's why I think photographers should post more of, it doesn't have to be 600 photos. That'll be a lot. But, at least, get a few shots of each scenes and maybe make it like, I don't know, 80 to 100 photos, blog posts or something like that. That would really help out the clients.
Yeah, or like a blog style, like per event.
Exactly,
like blog, like about the location, how you shot it. So that also like gives you kind of like your credentials. Like it will tie into the venue that you were shooting at, and then just put like a few photos from different scenes on that specific day.
Yeah, I've had clients who've asked me to share with them some like full galleries that I have. I don't know if your clients have asked you as well, but I have been asked.
I mean, nobody has asked yet, but I think that's one thing that clients will have to do.
Nobody asked me.
They have to vet their.
Nobody asked me just because I have them.
Oh, okay, there you go.
Yeah. So I just titled them as a recent works, and then just post about the actual blog post about the day, the weather and just the story of the day, but with all the photos in it. Sometimes if it's a short wedding, it can be just as small as 20-30 photos. But if it's a big wedding, like more than 8 hours, then it can be, over 80 photos. But yeah.
Yeah, I used to do that, but I think now that I have a blog, I do feature my blog posts more, and I kind of incorporate it within there as well. So, but it still blows my mind that, anyone's capable of coming up with a scheme and this plan to do something like this. But I think it's still going to continue to happen, but we just I think it's brave that this couple did come up and share their story, because I think even my first instinct was like, oh, okay, I feel terrible. Like I would photograph your wedding for you for free now, because I just feel so bad, because that's in my own city. It's just crazy.
Yeah. And I think one thing that we do have to remember is that that's not only causing that couple to sort of shy away from the professional photographers, but also people who listen to those things, they get, skeptical about hiring a professional photographers. And that way, like we're like, as a photographers, as a community together, we're losing clients.
Yeah.
And this couple, it sounds like they're so nice. The first time,
so angry.
The first time they received so nice. Photos, they were like, "Oh, they sent us the reject file."
Yeah,
that's what their first reaction.
You know what? I'm surprised they even received anything, you know? Like I
Yeah.
thought they would have just been ghosted
Yeah.
completely and not
Exactly.
received anything at all. So I'm
That was my take as well. Like for that guy who was scamming, like he actually thought that was worthy of sending those photos.
It's like,
maybe
oh,
he's
that's just
not even a
insult.
scammer. Maybe he's just terrible at his work and he somehow screwed up the day.
Yeah.
I'm so embarrassed to even
Maybe
say anything, you know?
because it says here, like he advertises it, so he paid advertisement to do this.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just puzzled. I don't know what to say.
And I hope this is just one couple. I hope he didn't,
Yeah.
you know, ruin
Yeah.
anyone else's.
It was
You
like,
know?
because he was affordable, charming, advertised on a wedding website. So I don't know what kind of wedding website that is, but that costs money. So maybe he wanted to do it, but then he screwed up the day. So just devil's advocate here. Like, what do you think? If you're a new wedding photographer, what would you do if, like, oh crap, the whole wedding, my shutter speed was 60. 1/60th of a second, the whole entire wedding.
Well, you know, for me, I typically look at the photos after I take it. Even family photos, I check to make sure everything's in focus, no one's blinking. That's why I take like 5 at least
Yeah.
of each group. And for me also, I don't know if you guys do this, but I do show the couple just a few images of like the ones that I've shot
Yeah,
so
I
far,
do.
just so they
Yeah.
can kind of have a breather, like, oh, okay, we
Yeah.
actually look good, and kind of gives them confidence as well to kind
Yeah,
of continue
exactly.
to go on with the shoot and feel
Yeah.
more comfortable. But
But I think what you're saying, like right now, that also comes with confidence. Like I think if it's something that if they're completely new, then that even doing that, like showing the couples and you know
Yeah.
checking the camera and all that kind of stuff, may be a little bit more difficult to do.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, yeah, we have to build the experience somewhere, and so that's why I think.
That's an expensive.
But I think we
experience.
also have all been there. Like I've definitely made mistakes and actually
Yeah,
accidentally shot on a really low shutter. So, but luckily I caught it in time.
Yeah.
Even
It
for
happens.
me, like even recently, just because I never really used long focal length before. And I'm at like 150, but my shutter
Yeah.
speed is like 125. I'm like, oh wow. I'm still making the mistakes.
Yeah.
So
Definitely.
that's actually, it's a good segue to potentially a next topic.
Yeah.
So if you guys are, you know, scrolling on Instagram, you'll probably have seen a lot of this type of image, the whole blurry motion blur images where, you know, the subject is not in focus entirely.
They're dancing.
So do you guys think, well, first of all, have you guys tried it yourself?
I have.
Okay. Intentionally, obviously.
Intentionally. This is with
And unintentionally.
intentionally. This is doing a workshop with I forgot her name. Nicole Ashley.
Oh yes.
I love her. Anyway, I love her. So the way she teaches is like very storytelling type of way. So she makes it seem like, you know, it's part of the part of the story. You can say that it's kind of like, instead of delivering gifts, delivering gifts, you deliver something like that, like just to, you know, add something like motion to one of the images, add something into the gallery that shows, you know, motion. You know, that's one thing you can do. So for me, it's a yay. Adding at least one photo of one photo, blurry one, as long as it makes sense in the storytelling in the album. You know. How about you guys?
I definitely tried, and I think it's necessary to know how to do it, and also because I think the downside of the photography in the art form in general is because it's a 2D artwork. So just by trying to add a layer to it and I think adding a movement, adding sort of blurry side of things definitely adds that depth to it. So So I mean, we talk about blurry images in wedding photography, but in other photography type, they've been using that sort of technique for quite a while. For example, like panning is one of the good examples, and some of the sports photography as well. And I just think it's like not in terms of maybe like a trendy side of thing, but in terms of just trying to add depth to it, just trying to add a little bit more artistic side to it. I think it can, when done right, when you're really emphasizing what needs to be emphasized, then I think it's good, but that's not the easy technique, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I've tried it. It went okay. I don't use this technique often. I don't really think it's my style, but I've just seen it a lot, way too much now. Everyone's doing it. So personally I think it's a trend. I don't think it's going to stick around,
Yeah, I might die.
If I think about it 10 years from now, I don't think we're going to praise those type. Maybe it'll come back in 10 years, but maybe in 2 years, I don't know. I'm not sure if it's going to continue. Maybe.
Yeah.
Who knows?
So I guess talking about, using it in different scenarios, like let's say, for example, like I asked the bride to, I asked the groom to give the bride the twirl, and then she turns around and her hair's flicking, her dress is flicking, and using a slow shutter in that moment. I think that's a little bit too much for me. But if I were to, let's say photograph a couple kissing in the middle of a crowded environment, and they're kissing, their motion is still where all the people around them are kind of still moving. So you slow down the shutter and drag it a little bit.
That, yeah.
That's definitely in my sort of I think my style of photography that would definitely work. But the first example, I think I've tried it. I don't know if I just haven't done it well enough, but that's something that definitely doesn't work for me.
But I think the type of images, motion blurry images I'm thinking about is the intentional ones. They're just walking and they're blurry. The whole image is blurry is not what you're describing. It's those ones for sure. They have a purpose, whereas the type I'm thinking about that I've been seeing a lot is just random moments. They purposely they're moving their camera.
It's almost like bring out the sort of a retro look, right? From the old cameras, right? But yeah, no, I don't think I've ever tried.
Yeah. I mean, I do commend the people that do it well. There are definitely people that do it very well, but I think it's just everyone's trying to jump on that right now. And yeah, I've just seen it a lot. So kind of, no, go ahead.
Yeah, a lot of people have been doing it. A lot of the reels have them nowadays. Yeah.
Is it really a lot of people are doing it, or do you think it's just the algorithm?
I think both. I mean, if you see it enough.
No, that's a hot take.
But would they put it as a hashtag? How does it work? How do they know that is a blurry photo?
No, because they include it in series of photos, not just it's the blurry photo is with other photos in for example, like a reel on a wedding day. They'll include good photos, plus they'll put that blurry photo in, part of the reel.
Maybe it's just a mental thing. I think I've just been thinking about it, and every time, how when there's something in your head, you keep seeing it a lot, and I think that's what's just happening to me right now. So
yeah, but you're not alone. You see it a lot too. And you were saying that it might die, and it might might go back. I mean, look at maybe we can talk about this on the next topic. But,
yes.
No,
go ahead. You can bring it up.
Polaroids, film, direct flash. Remember that? What decade is that? 80s, 90s? I don't know. But yeah, it was a thing back then, right? And now it's starting to become a thing again. Or it's been a thing for a while. And that's why film camera prices have have shot up in value recently.
Mm-hmm.
And also the what do you call it? The film itself is quite
Very
expensive.
expensive. Yeah.
Yeah. But it came back. What do you guys think about that?
It's funny because I think about like fashion trends also because, back in the day, our parents, their fashion and what they were wearing, it's now coming back. So I do think maybe it's like a cycle, some of these things do become trendy again, and who knows if they'll last a long time or not. Maybe in, another decade or something, it'll come back. But I don't know. I think the whole film, I think it's going to stick around for a while. It's been around for a while now, but I think especially this generation where, everyone's using their phone, everyone can take those really sharp images. I think having, the film, the little bit more grainy, maybe the direct flash is just something that is different. And that's something, especially this generation, they never really got to experience, whereas we sort of did. So for them, maybe it's like a new thing that they have never experienced before. So maybe that's why it's becoming really popular. But what do you think?
To me, I think it's two things. For me, for my age, I would say it's the nostalgia, like remembering things how it used to be.
Yeah.
And also number two, preference. Some couples just saw like inspiration, right? Like if you get inspired, you saw an image like that, and you want that for yourself, then nobody's to stop you. Like a certain photographer would do certain things like that. Direct flash or the film look. And sometimes it all comes down to preference. It's that people just like the photos. Will they like it 10, 20 years from now? Who knows? But at that moment, that's what they want to do. And, it could be just a trend that came back. So there could be two things.
I oftentimes think that, like we call ourselves creatives, but like, I don't think there are that many things that we actually create. Like there are things that we make out of nothing. It's oftentimes we're just thinking a little bit differently. So I think oftentimes, the reason that these fashion or the trends kind of goes around is because, when we get bored of a certain type of trend or a certain type of style, then we're trying to do something a little bit differently. And then we always kind of lean on something that was successful in the past, and maybe if there's a way to kind of improve that, so something like some of the film looks that I really love is like Portra 400 especially.
Yeah.
And then like from that, they always sort of like the downside of Portra 400 is it could be downside or it could be the preference, but it's the dynamic range is a lot wider than other film ranges. So like maybe bring out a little bit more punch to it. So that could be sort of like what they call the modern film look. But I think it just I think classic is classic for a reason. It will always be there. I think film camera, having that sort of the reason that people love film camera is because of that look, that classic look. That all the movies were shot in that, and so there's no way around that.
And I've noticed a bunch of photographers like selling, like the way they package their brand is like, oh, we're doing fine art. And then you'll notice that they're using like Portra 400 as their like main preset, or like, something like that. Like that look, that Portra 400 look.
Fuji 400H is the most popular, the light and airy look.
Yeah. And then they'll be like, okay, this is, fine art, whatever that means. That could be a hot take.
Yeah.
What's fine art?
Well, I think also kind of similar with the film is Polaroids. That's kind of a huge thing that's been going on also. Not even just for photographers having taking Polaroids for the couple, but in the, the wedding reception or even the wedding party, they have disposable Polaroid cameras kind of lying around. What do you guys think about that? Do you think it is a trend? Do you think it's going to continue to be popular and stick around for a while?
I think it might be a trend that's going to keep coming back because again, I feel like it's the nostalgia thing again. Like, I don't know if the younger kids like, oh, my mom used to use that. Maybe I want to try that. And also like the delaying the self gratification thing, because nowadays we always get what we want in an instant. So sometimes it's nice to like wait for it to be developed. There's that that feeling of like, you have to wait for your photos to come out.
Yes.
So maybe that's a thing that the younger generation would like to feel. So, but for me, I think it's a nostalgia thing. Like I want to kind of experience it again. Yeah. What do you think, Eugene?
I think also it's we often even us, I think we market ourselves about storytelling, about creating memories, creating legacy, all that kind of stuff. So I think in that legacy and that sort of like heritage becomes a thing when we get older, but when oftentimes people are thinking, when we're thinking about memories and all those things, it's something from the past. So I think the reason having something tangible and something that they can hold on to, something they can look into with a certain look, that's a big draw for a lot of people. But I don't know, probably wouldn't say maybe 10 years, and then
10 years.
Yeah, until the next new thing comes around, it's going to be popular. But it's interesting too, because even there's a lot of apps and even little printers that you can buy now that prints out your phone images instantly. I think it's kind of similar to what you're saying, John. People just want that instant thing, right? Like they just want to be able to hold it.
Yeah,
it's like a actual tangible thing that they can touch.
Yeah.
Not just in their iCloud, like thousands and thousands of photos. They can actually print them and kind of have them around.
That's why vinyl records, it never goes away.
Yeah.
People still buy them. I still have it. I don't necessarily play it all the time because it's not the most convenient thing, but sometimes there's a day wherein I just want to play it. And I just want to listen to it. I want to listen to the static noise while it's playing. There's something about just holding the thing, putting it in the record and playing it.
Yeah.
So I think it's the same thing.
It's interesting that vinyls have continued to be popular, especially like again with the kids, the younger generation. They just love that. Whereas you think about CDs, cassettes, tapes. Are they still a thing?
Yeah.
I think we just skipped those entirely. Those are kind of extinct now.
Yeah.
Even now, when I come across a CD, I'm like, whoa, this is so weird. Like, who has DVD players nowadays? Or even CD players to play these things.
I think even if the styles and things were to repeat, I think that has to have some kind of value. For example, like vinyls, oftentimes they talk about that sort of like static noise and sound quality and all that kind of stuff. Whereas CD and tape don't really do any of that. So there's probably no reason to, find something that's more hassle and,
So I guess going back to the cameras, you can kind of say like certain cameras, the older they are, there's going to be like certain characteristics, like film cameras, the noise. So that could be one reason why it keeps going back. There's just, although you can emulate it with using, Lightroom can pretty much do looks.
That kind of brings me to another thing. It's the grain, right?
Yeah.
There are some photographers that definitely add a lot of grain to their images. I've seen a lot of presets with a lot of grain.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on adding grain into your images?
For me, for my style, I only added for the black and whites. Add a little bit of grain, but I don't like to go overboard. I just like I like the natural noise though. Low light situations. If there's like some noise in the image, sometimes I don't even try to fix it. Sometimes the noise is pleasing to me. I don't know why.
Yeah.
But I definitely I am 50-50 on that with putting too much grain. But I do like putting it in the black and white photos. How about you guys?
I don't know. I think it's a certain type of image. When there's for example, if I were to photograph a couple in a field, against the sun, when there's so many different kind of things going on, and then just put the grains on it and just ties entire image together. So I think grains definitely has that sort of magic in terms of bringing things together, more cohesive. Even I think so. The perfect image would be like you have really good number of layers of things in an image, and then you put grains over it to tie everything kind of together. But I think just because I cannot do it for the entire gallery, I tend to not do it. But for example, I try to do a little bit if I were to do a photo for a bigger, like for example, like my main website images, those I like to put a little bit of grain on it, just to make it a little bit more receptive, I guess. But yeah.
Interesting. So yeah, the presets I use, they actually have a lot, but so I do use a little, but I think it's a good balance. Like it's not overboard, how some people are, but that is, their style and their look that they're going for, and clients, seem to like that. So that's okay. But for me, I do add a little bit just because, especially with my 85, it's so clear that you need a little bit just to hide a little bit of the wrinkles. It's too clear. It's just too crystal clear, too HD.
It's the Sigma, right?
Yeah.
It's a Sigma, yeah.
Yeah, so I do add a little bit, just kind of make it more real. I mean, I guess in real life there's wrinkles, but it's kind of my style. I do add a little bit. I wanted to end with one more, just because I think this one's a good one. And it reminded me because John took a drink. So is the topic of drinking while on the clock, on the job, while you're still photographing a wedding. What are your thoughts? Do you guys have a drink with you, especially at reception? What are your thoughts on that?
So for me, it's not a wedding. It was like an elopement shoot. So the bride and the groom that I shot, they rented a limo, and the mom of the groom was like pouring drinks and champagne in the car, and I barely started taking photos. He was like handing drinks, like, and she was like, "Oh, you're gonna take a drink with us." And I was like, "Okay." So I, if they hand it on to me, I will take a drink. I will take a sip. I won't like refuse it. Like, I'm not gonna get drunk off of it. I don't think my performance will diminish because of that. But if they hand me a drink, I will just to celebrate. It's a celebration. It's a happy moment with them, and I am part of the crew or the family, and that's how I want to think of all of my photography jobs, that I'm part of whatever they're celebrating. That's mainly why I wanted to do this job, is celebrate with couples, with families, and just be the documenter of the event. So I'm okay with it as long as they gave me the drink. I'm not like going to the bar and like ordering drinks for myself. They still have some sort of professionalism. But if they hand me off the drink, then I will drink it. That's me. How about you guys?
Eugene?
I think it depends. One, if I'm not driving, and then two, as you probably know, I do like to send the sneak peeks on the day of.
That's a problem.
So it depends when the wedding, like what time the wedding is finishing, and So what I usually usually I say no. I don't say no to drinks. So it really depends. So like even if they give me the drinks, if I feel like then I'm feeling a little bit tired, and if I feel like that I won't be able to concentrate well, like when I'm editing the photos or all that, even if I'm not driving, then I'll take the drink, but I'll probably have a sip and then probably not drink it, and then. But yeah, if I'm feeling okay, like for example, the one in the wedding in Chicago, because of the time difference, Even though they finished at 11 o'clock, over here it was still like 9 o'clock. So I finished at like literally in Vegas time. I finished at 9 o'clock. So I was feeling fine. So I could be okay for another 3-4 hours. So at that point, and obviously I wasn't driving because I didn't have a car there. And in those situations that I did, I think I drank like 3 glasses of champagne.
3, Eugene.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it depends. I think it really depends. But I'm not against. I think I won't drink it before the dance floor starts.
Right.
Like I think I can. I will only because during the dance floor, I think it will be okay for me to, shake a little bit.
Yeah.
Can be. I mean, I'm dragging anyway. So yeah. So yeah, I won't drink before the dance floor starts. But yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
How about you,
Well,
Paul?
for me, since I don't really drink,
Yeah, you don't drink.
Don't. But, sometimes if they have like wine there, I'll probably pour myself a little just to take a sip. But typically, I definitely don't until I'm off the clock, like I'm actually done. Or kind of what John says, if they do offer it, then maybe I'll think about it. But even actually, there was one engagement session that I did that we ended up bar hopping. And they did offer. They're like, "Are you sure? Are you sure? Like, come take a shot with us." And I'm like, "No, it's okay."
You can take a shot.
Of you. I'll take a shot of water. But I do appreciate those couples as well because they just want to. That's kind of their, how they are as people, and they're just so friendly that you become one of their friends. So they do want to enjoy it with you as well. So. I do appreciate that aspect as well. But yeah, I have seen some photographers that may have gotten a little too drunk.
Too much, huh? Oh boy.
But I wouldn't recommend it until, after you're done, after your coverage is over, and especially if the couple does, encourage you to do so, then yes, But yeah, I mean, I could see how it could become an issue if there's an open bar.
Yeah.
I think some couples do take it a little bit personally if I don't drink it.
Yeah.
Especially being in Vegas.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah, there are situations that you kind of I kind of have to, just to kind of go with the flow, because I think that's still part of the customer service as well.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yes.
To me, it's just like whining still, like your job doesn't end until you back up those photos. So just just keep that in mind. Like, don't lose the images, don't lose your camera. It's just be cautious about that. That's what I'm saying. Just still have some level of professionalism. You're getting paid to do the job still, but yeah.
Yeah, see, for you is just the copying the images. For me, it's editing.
You have to edit, yeah. That's very true.
Yes.
That's true.
So
okay, that was so much fun.
Yeah,
I hope you guys enjoyed that. A quick little rapid fire hot takes.
Yep.
So yeah, hopefully we'll have this again in the coming months or so. I think that was a lot of fun, and I'm sure there's going to be new trends coming down that we'll see on Instagram. So yeah, as always, you can find all of our episodes on all of our podcasts, all the platforms basically. So we have Spotify, YouTube, you can watch on those. And then you can listen on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and CastBox. I think you can even listen on Anchor.fm as well if you want to go check that out. You can see all of our episodes. And for next week, we have a listener topic, which is so exciting. So the topic is going to be on imposter syndrome, which I think is going to be really interesting because I'm sure we all suffer from that. So yeah, it's going to be a great discussion, and hopefully you'll join us for that next week.
Yep.
That was fun. Yeah. All right.
So yeah, we'll see you guys all again next week.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.